we are going to be going back and forth between video and here in person. So I am Taryn Sibra, and I'm your host here in person. Marissa Larson is on Zoom as your Zoom host. Shirley Hobrock is going to be our greeter person out in the audience and hopefully welcomed you in today, and Doug is on tech. So it is a very big day. So hopefully everybody recognized today is Father's Day. So that is, I don't know if it's big, but it feels big to me. So my father passed away in 2008. So it's always a day to reflect on what it is to be a father and that kind of mentorship and development that fathers put in to their kids. But it's also a day that kind of, I don't know, makes me think of, well, what would he think about me trying to decolonize my body or being anti-patriarchy or things like that? I don't think he ever used words like that. So it can be kind of a triggering day for a lot of people. So on this special day, we're going to try and recognize the strength, love, and guidance of our fathers, grandfathers, uncles, brothers, mentors, their presence in our lives, enriching us, teaching us, and reminding us of the importance of care and responsibility. So these bonds can occur through biological means, or it can be your chosen family, and we're going to acknowledge and recognize all of that collective experience today. We are also going to hold space for Juneteenth. So it's now a federally recognized holiday, which we are very happy for. It's a day of liberation and reflection. It's a time to honor the resilience, courage, and enduring spirit of African Americans who fought for freedom and justice. This day reminds us of the ongoing journeys towards equality and the importance of acknowledging our collective history. So we are working hard today to hold space and be open-minded, but also be gentle for ourselves. Okay, so with that in mind, we are going to light the chalice now, because I don't know when the chalice lighting is going to occur in the online service or if it's going to occur at all. So we are going to hold space and follow Bobby McFerrin's advice that everything will be okay. We're going to light the candle. Okay. Well, thank you so much for the memorial candle. And we do, I didn't even know the story behind these podiums and everything. So that's really special. Okay, so we are sharing a service via video that was recorded live just moments before we started our service. So there will be some hopping back and forth. Do we want to show the picture of the Ohio folks? It's a team that Pastor Isabel, who is not here today, has coordinated with to present to us. And so there might be like a shout out video, and then we're going to skip back and forth. So they're going to deliver a story for all ages and most of the sermon. But the pathway, since it was just recently recorded, couldn't be like bookmarked for where we want to skip and when we want to play. So there's probably going to be a lot of, I don't know, hiccups might be a good word, lack of flow, but we will try our best to make it a meaningful and worthy service for you guys. And thank you, Ohio folks. Okay, so do we think we can play the land acknowledgement? So they're going to present the land acknowledgement for today.
Good morning to all of you. I have my allergies acting up today, so I'm going to sound like a cartoon character, so I apologize now. I am, as was introduced, Minister Shannon High, your coordinator of multicultural engagement. My pronouns are she and her. I am a Black woman with a light brown complexion in my 50s, with a shaved head and clear framed glasses. Today we acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Shawnee, the Erie, the Kickapoo, the Wyandot, Lenape, Seneca, Miami, Ottawa, and all Indigenous peoples whose names have been erased and forgotten. We honor and respect the enduring relationship that exists between these peoples and their traditional territories. We recognize the ongoing impacts of colonization and strive to contribute to the healing and reconciliation process. By acknowledging the land, we pay tribute to the rich cultural heritage and enduring presence of Indigenous communities.
I'm Amanda Hayes. My pronouns are she, her, and I serve as your justice minister. I'm a white woman in my mid-30s with spiky short hair and glasses. And this morning, we send a special welcome to Manhattan UU in Kansas and the Reverend Dr. Isabel Call, their minister, who are joining us virtually this morning. While the Emancipation Proclamation of 1836 might be viewed as a step toward abolishing slavery, it is crucial to acknowledge that its promise of freedom was not immediately realized for all enslaved people. The proclamation applied only to Confederate states actively rebelling against the Union, leaving enslaved individuals in border states and other regions still in bondage. This stark reality persisted until June 19th, 1865, known as Juneteenth, when Union troops arrived in Galveston, Texas, and enforced the emancipation of the last remaining enslaved people. This day symbolizes the delayed but ultimate fulfillment of freedom for all enslaved African Americans, and reminds us of the ongoing struggle for justice and equality. As we commemorate Juneteenth, let us honor the resilience of strength of those who endured and fought for their freedom. Their legacy inspires us to continue striving for a world where liberty and justice truly belong to everyone without exception.
I always have to keep myself from getting up and clapping really loud and dancing when I sing that song. This morning, I want to speak a prayer to the four corners, the four directions, and then one in the center. We do these prayers to invoke blessings upon us as we gather here today. Please feel free to join me as you're willing and able, if you'd like to stand in the directions or even in spirit. And we will start as we first turn to the east. We turn to the east, direction of the rising sun and new beginnings. Great Spirit of the East, guide us with your warmth and help us to walk the path of enlightenment. Next, we will turn to the south. We turn to the south, direction of warmth, growth, and abundance. Great Spirit of the South, help us to cultivate our inner gardens with love and compassion, fostering harmony and community. We now turn to the east. We now turn to the west. We turn to the west, direction of the setting sun and introspection. Great Spirit of the West, guide us through the shadows, providing us with the insight needed to grow and transform. And then to the north. We turn to the north, the direction of wisdom, endurance, and stability. Great Spirit of the North, may we stand rooted in this earth, drawing from your wisdom and patience. And we now return back to center, the place of balance and connection. Great Spirit, guide our hearts with your love so that we may live in harmony and peace with all creation.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Susan O'Donnell, and my pronouns are she, her. I serve on the nominating committee and also Anti-Racist Allies. I am an elderly, speckled woman with red hair and glasses. Today, I'm sharing an excerpt from the Emancipation Proclamation by the President of the United States of America, a proclamation. Whereas on the 22nd day of September, in the year of our Lord, 1862, a proclamation was issued by the President of the United States, containing, among other things, the following, to wit, that on the first day of January, in the year of our Lord, 1863, all persons held as slaves within any state or designated part of a state, the people thereof shall be in rebellion against the United States, shall be thenceforward and forever free.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Pat Snyder. I serve on the Anti-Racist Spring Planning Team. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a white woman in my 70s with short white hair, red earrings, and a red and white or a black and white top. I'm going to be reading another excerpt from the Emancipation Proclamation. And by virtue of the power and for the power aforesaid, I do order and declare that all persons held as slaves henceforward shall be free, and that the executive government of the United States, including the military and naval authorities thereof, will recognize and maintain the freedom of said persons.
Hello again. Again, I say good morning to you all, and also to, as Minister Amanda had mentioned, our siblings at Manhattan UU. As mentioned, we are broadcasting to them, so I was hoping that we could all say hello to them on the count of 3. If you can do it, okay? I'll also take sign language. And we'll count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Hello! That's for you at Manhattan UU. Thank you for being with us this morning. So our theme today, if you hadn't guessed, is Juneteenth. This is the official date to celebrate. The official date to celebrate would, of course, be this coming Wednesday on the 19th of June, but today in our beloved community, we gather to commemorate this day of profound historical significance, a time for reflection, celebration, and growth. I would also like to add, and I think I mentioned this before, that Juneteenth is also called Jubilee. So this holiday, often referred to as such, is synonymous with joy. And today, this morning, we are going to create a space for joy that we can enjoy together. I always like to do things to involve you all to get up and move or yell or shout. So before I begin the sermon, I would love for us to take part in a community ritual. This ritual will open the space for us to experience joy, if even for a brief moment, maybe even longer than many of us have allowed ourselves to experience recently or in the past couple decades. So this is how the ritual works. It begins with laughter. Now, I'm not going to do a comedic routine. I'm not going to dance. I'm not going to tell a joke. But we all have that joy inside, and we're going to do a ritual to just try to bring it out. It may be prompted by a funny memory, a happy experience, or even the infectious laugh of the person next to you. Manhattan UU, I'm inviting you to take part as well, to kick off your shoes and have a good laugh. This is a judgment-free zone. What happens in here stays in here today. So I'm gonna start, and then I'm gonna welcome you in, okay? So this is our space to let go of all the things that take up our days and distract us from laughter, which is basically life. This is the space to laugh in the faces of those who have hoped that you'd fail. This is our moment to laugh at the flat tire, the unpaid light bill, the late mortgage payment, unruly adult children, the neighbor's unkempt yard, and even that Kroger cashier that overcharged you for the bottled water. And I'm gonna put the speed bumps too on this street. This is our time. So with that being said, I'm going to begin. I like to pace a little bit to work myself up, which is what I'm going to do. I invite you to do the same. You may stand up, you may sit down, you may do this in your spirit with your eyes closed open, however, but today we're going to bring joy into this space. This is your time. So I'll start, and then I'll welcome you in. I got a lot of funny things I can remember. Hold on. Woo! All right, funny. The speed bumps. Woo! Come on, join me. Let it out. Let it out. Feel it in your belly. This is your time to laugh today. Donald Trump. We laugh in your face today. Little hands. Woo, God gave me that one at the last minute. I didn't even have that one planned. Oh my goodness. Okay, see, it wasn't even that hard, okay? This was your time. This was your time. Thank you. Thank you for allowing yourselves to experience joy even for a moment, and we did it all together on this amazing Sunday. Do this at home at any time as well. I often do this in public and I get looked at, but it's a no judgment zone, right? So joy was here because we created a space for joy together, and we have to understand that joy is not just a fleeting emotion. It's actually a powerful force that sustains us through our struggles. It is a form of resistance against oppression, a declaration that we will not be defined by our suffering. It shouts from the rafters that the spirit cannot be broken, that humanity and dignity prevail. Joy amidst struggles reaffirms life and the inherent worth of every individual. And to note, resilience is not just about enduring hardship. It's about thriving in spite of it. It's about taking the broken pieces of our past and using them to build something beautiful for our future. It's about finding strength in community and power in our diverse struggles. Black people have tapped into that strength. We've tapped into resilience in this country, even though the resilience of my Black ancestors in this country is a testament to finding strength and the indomitable human spirit. Despite being stolen from a homeland, the chains of enslavement, the oppression of Jim Crow, and the systemic racism that persists today, I have continued to find ways to experience joy. This joy is not a fleeting emotion. It is that profound statement of our humanity. It is heard in our music, seen in our dance, heard in our expressive and often loud laughter. Our joy refuses to be silenced. It's felt in our love. Black joy has always been intertwined with the fight for freedom and justice. It has been a source of strength, a means of survival, and a way to build and nurture community. And what role does community play in making room for joy? Let's think about birthday celebrations, anniversary dinners, even worship services. In the company of others, we find solidarity, support, and shared understanding. In community, we can lift each other up, celebrate together, and find strength in our collective resilience. Our Unitarian Universalist principles call us to affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person and to promote justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. These principles guide us in building communities where joy is not just possible, but abundant. To make room for joy, we all must be committed to the action. Those of us who laugh today, committed to the ritual to experience something freeing. We must work to create the space for it. It means standing up against injustice, advocating for change, supporting initiatives that promote equality and human rights. It means celebrating cultures, preserving histories, and passing on the stories and traditions that sustain us. To make room for joy, we must be intentional. It requires recognizing the weight of our burdens and consciously choosing to embrace moments of light. Consciously choosing to embrace moments of light. Embracing light is not about ignoring our pain or our trauma, but about nurturing our souls with joyful moments so we can continue to fight while growing our capacity to stand in that light for warmth when our hearts feel cold. To make room for joy, we must consider the power of a half smile, a quiet chuckle in a crowded room, and the joy found in dancing to a favorite song in our living room. These are not just fleeting moments of happiness, but profound acts of defiance. I remind you, they are profound acts of defiance. Joy is a powerful force for healing and transformation. As Unitarian Universalists, are we creating spaces for joy? Are we creating spaces for ourselves to experience joy individually? Are we creating spaces for the joys of all humanity? It sounds like a lot. It's heavy. It's real. How do we even begin? We can start with recognizing and honoring the full humanity of every individual, including ourselves. We can then create environments where joy flourishes by supporting each other, celebrating our victories no matter how small, and nurturing our spirits. Juneteenth reminds us that though the fight for freedom is ongoing, this is our time for Jubilee. My Christian church upbringing leads me to say, for such a time as this. Today we acknowledge past and present injustice while celebrating the progress made and the strength of those who have paved the way. We are united in our endeavor to honor June 19th. Our unity is essential in our journey towards true freedom for all of us. The fight for justice is far from over, and it requires all of us to join hands and to push forward together. The fight for justice and equality requires collective action and mutual support. I have to say that again, collective action and mutual support. It calls us to be allies, to listen to and amplify marginalized voices, and to work tirelessly for a world where everyone can live with dignity and freedom, a world where all can experience joy. This coming Wednesday, when we celebrate Juneteenth, separate and apart from one another, let us engage in activities that bring us joy. Please sing, please dance, please share stories, please reflect on the progress we have made as a people. Remember those who are no longer with us and honor their legacy by continuing the work they started. Or you be the one starting the work. As we celebrate Juneteenth today on this Sunday, let us honor the resilience and joy of Black people. Let us commit to creating space for joy in our lives and our community. Let us stand together, united in our fight for justice and equality. And let us never forget the power of unbridled joy in the face of adversity. Happy Juneteenth.